Hi, this is Kashmunisa Bagewari. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to see about Amazon S3. So, getting started with Amazon S3. So, we will have some introduction to Amazon S3 and plus we will have some hands-on. So, we will create one S3 bucket. We will put and get object from the bucket. So, let's start. So, now let's see what is the agenda. So first we will have some introduction to Amazon S3. Then we will see what is S3 bucket, what is an object, what is a key, and then we will have hands-on demo. So we will create one S3 bucket. We will store some data, some file, and we will see how can we retrieve our data from the bucket. So let's start. So first start with the introduction part. So introduction to Amazon S3. So S3 is nothing but the simple storage service. It is storage for the internet. So you can use Amazon S3 to store and retrieve any amount of data at any time from anywhere on the web. You can accomplish this task using AWS Management Console, AWS SDK, AWS CLI, S3 APIs, etc. So you can store any kind of data, images, files, videos in Amazon S3. So Amazon S3 is in object storage service that offers industry leading scalability, data availability, security and performance. So this means customers of all sizes and industries can use it to store and protect any amount of data for a range of use cases such as websites, mobile applications, backups and restore, archive, enterprise applications, IoT devices and big data analysis. So for your you can use S3 for any kind of purpose. You can store of any size and you can n amount of data you can store. So Amazon S3 provides easy to use management features so you can organize your data and configure finely tuned access controls to meet your specific business, organizational or compliance requirement. So Amazon S3 is designed for 99.999% it is 11 nines of durability and it stores data for millions of applications for companies all around the world. So it is the very best durability. There is very less chance to lose your data. So you will have better durability, scalability and availability for your data in Amazon S3. You can get benefit on your free tier account of 5 GB storage in S3 standard class. So if you are new to AWS, you are having your AWS account under the free tier. So for 1 year, you can use Amazon S3 standard class. You can store your data up to 5 GB. So it is free up to 5 GB for your standard class under the free tier account. It is after your if your free tier limit is complete, it is also very cheap. So after your free tier limit, you have to pay only point not 25 per GB for your first 50 TB per month. This price is for Mumbai region. So this price is vary from region to region. So you have to pay only point not 25 per GB for your standard storage class for first 50 TB per month. So Amazon S3 has two main components. So S3 bucket and object. So we will see one by one. First we will see what is S3 bucket. It is the main component of our Amazon S3. So bucket is nothing but the container for object. So this is your bucket and this is nothing but the container. You can store any kind of data inside your bucket. So to upload your data like photos, videos, documents to Amazon S3, you must first create an S3 bucket in one of AWS region. You can then upload any number of objects to the bucket. So you have to first create your bucket You can then select your region for that bucket and you can upload your objects into the bucket. You can have one or more buckets, so you can have multiple buckets in your account. An Amazon S3 bucket name is globally unique. This means that after a bucket is created, the name of the bucket cannot be used by another AWS account in any AWS region until the bucket is deleted. So bucket name is globally unique. So no one can have the same name. So for any account, it is unique for all over the Amazon S3. Amazon S3 creates buckets in a region you specify. To optimize latency, minimize cost, or address regulatory requirements, choose any AWS region that is geographically close to you. So while selecting region, you have to consider these points. So you will get the best performance about the latency, about the cost, and your regulatory requirement. So it is better if you choose a region that is geographically close to you. For each bucket, you can control access to it, who can create, delete, and list objects in the bucket, view access log for it and its objects, and choose the geographical region where Amazon S3 will store the bucket and its content. So you will have the control access. So you can set some control properties, control access property. So you can set who can create, who can delete, and who can list the object and your bucket. So you will have a fine-tuned control on your bucket plus on your objects. So now moving to the next component. So next component is an object. So we will see what is an object. So object is nothing but the file, any document, any kind of data. It's nothing but the object. Amazon S3 stores data as object within the bucket. So now you can see in this figure, this is the bucket and these are the objects. Objects are files, folders, images, videos. So objects are fundamental entities stored in Amazon S3. It can be any image, file, video, etc. Object consists of a file, key and metadata. Object consists of two parts. It is the key. Key is nothing but the name of that object and the metadata. The data portion is opaque to Amazon S3 and the metadata is the set of key value pairs that describe the object. So object is consist of two parts. Key is the nothing but the name of object and metadata which describe the object in the form of key value pair. So when you create an object, you specify the key names which uniquely identifies the object in the bucket. You can set permission to the object as well. So you can set object level permission also. And your key name is nothing but the object name. It is uniquely identified under your bucket. So an object is uniquely identified within a bucket by key, name and version ID. If you enable versioning, so it will be identified with version ID as well. So if you have two files with the same name and you enable the version, so it will be identified with the name plus version ID. So you will have multiple files with the same name but version ID will be different. If you are not enable version, your file with the same name will get overwrite. So moving to the next part, what is a key? So key is the name that you assign to an object. Key is nothing but the name of your file. So a key is unique identifier for an object within a bucket. Every object in a bucket has exactly one key. The Amazon S3 data model is a flat structure. You create a bucket and the bucket stores objects. There is no hierarchy of sub-buckets of subfolder. So by default from Amazon S3 there is no hierarchy. It is a flat structure. So you can create bucket, but there is no concept of sub buckets or subfolder. However, you can infer logical hierarchy using key name prefixes, and you can create a folder structure as per your requirement. So you can set your own hierarchy. You can create folders, subfolders. You can give some prefix name to your files, folders, and objects. But by default, the S3 is flat structure. Every object in Amazon S3 can be uniquely addressed through the combination of web service endpoint, bucket name, key, and optionally a version. So for example, in the URL, you can see https://aws example bucket1.s3.api-south1.amazonaws.com/photos/puppy.jpg. This URL is nothing but your object endpoint. So you can see here AWS example bucket 1 is the name of bucket. So this is the name of your bucket, and AP South 1 is the region. So AP South is one is region code for the Mumbai. So it is Mumbai region, and Amazon AWS.com, and you can see photo/puppy.jpg is the key. So this is the key name, this is the bucket name, and this is the region. So it is the combination of bucket, region, and key is uniquely identified your object. So this is the endpoint of your object. If you want to retry your object, you can get this URL. So with this URL you can retry your object. So now we are moving to our second part, that is hands-on demo. So in this demo we will first create one S3 bucket, then we will upload one file, and we will download a file. So I will show you all step by step. So now first we will see what are the steps to create your bucket. So first we will see in the first step you have to log into your AWS management console, and you can move to S3 console. After that you can choose create bucket, and then the wizard will be open. So from wizard you can set some properties. You can give name to your bucket. It is DNS compliance, it is better. You can set DNS compliant name. So your bucket must be unique across all Amazon S3. It should be between 3 and 63 characters long. It should not contain uppercase character. It should start with lowercase letter or a number. So these are some predefined rules you have to consider when you creating your bucket name. So next step is you can select the region for your bucket, and in next step you can configure option. So you can set some properties for your bucket like versioning, server access logging, tag, object level logging, and bucket encryption, etc. So optionally you can enable object lock. So in advanced setting you can enable object lock setting, so your object get locked and you can prevent from deletion. So moving to the next step, in next step you can in bucket setting for block public access, so you can set access. So it may be public or private. You can set whatever access you want for your bucket, and then you can review your settings, and you can create your bucket by clicking on the create bucket button. So these are the steps we will follow while in our demo. So we will see. Okay. So I'm on my AWS management console. I already logged into my AWS account. So on this AWS Management Console, you can you can type here S3, and you can search, and you can go to S3, or if you have some recently visited services, you can click here, or there is one more option from this all services. You can scroll down, and in storage section you can find the S3. So you can click here, and you can go to AWS S3 Management Console. So I already have here. So this is my S3 Management Console. So currently I am having one bucket. So you can see the list of buckets here. So in my account, this is there is only one bucket. So you can see bucket name, access, either it is public or private. So you can see this bucket and objects are not public. So means that it is private bucket. The region for this bucket, so my bucket is in Asia Pacific Mumbai region, and you can see the date created when I created this bucket. It is the timestamp when it is created, and here you can see the total number of buckets. So right now I am having only one, so there is one bucket here and one region. So in one region I am having one bucket. So here are some different options. The first is create bucket. So I am going to create bucket. So you can see the wizard, and these are the multiple steps we have to follow while creating the bucket. First we need to give some name. So as we know already, we have to give some unique name. So I am trying to give some unique name, S3 demo bucket. Okay, let's see if it is available or not. And then after I can select the region. So you can click drop down here. You can find the all AWS region from these drop downs. So now I am going to select this Asia Pacific Mumbai region. In the next property, you can copy settings from an existing bucket. So if you are having already some buckets, you can copy the settings from existing bucket by selecting that bucket. So you no need to set all setting again and again. So you can copy from your existing bucket. So I am going to move for the next section, next step. Okay, in next step we can configure some options. These are some properties. We can set some properties to our S3 bucket. So first is versioning. So it keep all version of an object in the same bucket. So if you want to keep versioning, you want to avoid overwritten for the same file, you can enable versioning. Second is server access logging. You can log requests for access to your bucket. If you want to keep logs, so who created the bucket, when you created the bucket, all related log, you can store that logs by clicking or by enabling this property. After that, tags. You can use the tags to track project cost. So it will be useful while costing. So you can use some key value pair to your bucket, and this you can create tag, you can add more tags. So next property is object level logging. So as server access logging, this is for at bucket level. At the object level, you can also set you can also enable object level logging. So records object level API activity using AWS CloudTrail for an additional cost. So all your object log will get stored in CloudTrail, and this for additional cost. So you can see here is server access logging is no additional cost, but at object level logging is with the additional cost. Now next property is default encryption. So you can set default encryption for your bucket. So automatically encrypt object when they are stored in S3. So this is when you you set encryption. So all your object within that bucket will automatically will encrypted. So moving for the next property, advanced setting. This is optional. So this is object lock. So you can permanently allow object in this bucket to be locked. So if you want to you want to set some precaution, you want to prevent from the deletion. So you can set this property. So your object get locked and no one can delete your object. So moving to the next property. So CloudWatch request matrix. So in CloudWatch, if you want to create custom matrix, you can enable this property, and this is again with the additional cost. So now you can read all this about all these properties. These are easy to understand, and as per your requirement, you can enable any of these properties. For this demo purpose, I am not going to select any of these. I am keeping all these as a default. Now I am moving to the next button. So in the next step, you can see it is the set permission. So you can set permission to your S3 bucket. So if you want to keep your bucket public or private, so you can read all these details. So it will be better understanding. So if you want to keep private for security purpose, you keep it this setting, don't change this. This is by default. This is for private. If you want to make it public, so if I click here, if I want to make my bucket as a public, so you can see here is warning. So disabling block all public access may result in this bucket and the object within becoming public. So it is for security purpose, it is not good practice to make your bucket as a public. You have to keep your bucket as a private, but for this demo purpose I am going to acknowledge I want to keep my bucket as a public for the demo purpose. So now moving to the next step, this is the review. So in this you can review all your setting, and you can go ahead and create your bucket. So your bucket is now created. So you can see this one bucket is added here. So you can select and you can see the properties of this bucket. So whatever we selected the properties while creating bucket, you can see all is here. So about the properties and the permission, who is the owner, what is it is either public or private, management, all you can see here. And you can see here copy bucket ARN. So ARN is nothing but Amazon resource name. If you want to use programmatically, you can copy your bucket ARN from here. So now okay, I'm going to close this, and now you can see here these are options are enabled now. So you can edit public access setting. If you want to switch from public to private and private to public access, you can edit from here. And if you want to empty your bucket, so you want to delete all your data inside your bucket, you can click here. So all your files and folders will get deleted and your bucket will get empty. If you want to delete entire bucket, you can click on this button and your bucket will get deleted. So our first part of this demo is completed. Now I am moving to the second part. Now in second part we will upload some files. So in the second part I am going to click here and I am going to inside my bucket. So now I am inside my bucket. Now you can see this bucket is empty. Upload new object to get started. So now just we created this bucket, so nothing is inside, no object is here. So this is empty bucket. So you can upload an object, you can set some object properties, you can set object permissions also. So you can see here some other tabs are also like properties, permissions, management, access points. So all this we will see one by one in the upcoming videos. For now, for this video, I am going to tell about this overview tab. So in this tab we are having again multiple options. So you can upload here your object, any file, any image. You can upload it from here. You can create folders. You can download any object, and there are some actions. So you can see some actions here. So now first we are going to create one folder. So just click on this create folder button, and you can give some name to your folder. So I am giving here name photos. So here this is the my folder name, and you can set some encryption. So encryption will be applicable for this folder. So you can select none. It is this means that there is no encryption. You can say set AES 256. It is SAC S3's encryption, and you can set AWS KMS. So these are the encryptions option available. We will see in upcoming video about this in detail. So now I'm going to keeping it default. I'm not clicking anywhere, so there is none, so there is no encryption. I'm going to click on the save button. So our folder will be created. So now we are having our folder. So now I'm going to click on this folder, and in this folder I'm going to upload one image. So now click here. Now you can see you are inside Amazon S3, and this is your bucket name, and this is your folder. So now you whatever you can upload it here, it will come under this photos folder inside your S3 demo bucket example. So here you can see again multiple options. There are upload. You can again, if you want to subfolder create, you can create subfolders here. You can download, you can take any action. So now I'm going to show you how can we upload any file, any image, any document in our S3 bucket. So this is the our last part of our demo. So I'm going to click on the upload button. So now this again this wizard is open. So you can drag and drop your files and folder here, or you can add files. So now I am going to click this add files button. So I am going to browse my image which I want to upload. So this is my image. I am going to click this, and it is getting uploaded. So, okay, now you can see I am having that puppy.jpg file. So if you want to upload it, you can directly click on this upload button. If you want to set some properties, you can go and click the next. So you can see you can set some permissions here. So at the user level and account level, you can set some permission to your object level. So I am going to keep it default. Moving to the next step. So here in the next step, you can select storage class. So these are the storage classes. We will see in upcoming videos about one by one all are these storage classes. You can select encryption. You can select metadata. You can add some tags here. So these are the properties you can set at your object level. So I'm going to keep it default for this demo purpose. Now I'm going to click on the next button. So in the next step you can review all your settings, all your properties. So this is, there is one file, there is the size of file you can see, that is permissions and properties, and you can click your upload button. So you can see the progress here, so one in progress. So this is the your file is my file is getting uploading here. So now it is 39%, 54%. Now let's wait till it get uploaded successfully. Now you can see my file is uploaded. So here is my puppy.jpg file. You can see one success here, and when you click on this button you can see the properties of my file. So this is the overview, what are the what is the name, size, and all the settings, and what is the properties we set while we creating our object. So these all the overview you can see. And you can have here download button, copy path, and select from. If you want to download this object you can simply click on download, or you can have if programmatically you can use this object URL. This is nothing but the endpoint of your object, so you can retry your object by using this object URL as well. So now I'm going to click here. So you can click on this object, and you can go inside, and you can also see the properties. So now see, you can see here again the owner, last modified, storage class, and all these things. So key and object URL, and these are again some options. So you can open this file, you can download it, you can download as, you can make it public, you can copy the path. So now suppose now I am going to show how can you retrieve your file. So you can download it, you can make open it, or you can copy the path. So I am going to click on this open button. So now you can see this file, okay, which we uploaded. So you can get this file, and if you want to download it, so you can click on the download button, and then it will get downloaded. So now this we already see now how we can create bucket, how we can create object, and how we can retry the object. So this is nothing but our hands-on. So now moving to the, so now that's it for this video. See you next time. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.